What's up, everybody? It's about time, so we about to go in. We got the Love Guru with us this evening, and y'all can call in, whoever's listening. Number is 423-7-7249. 423-637-7249. I'm gonna say it periodically during the show so y'all can hear it. But 423-637-7249. 423-637-7249. If y'all want to call in, we're going to tell you when. What's up, Devin?
That means you can call and talk to us.
Yeah, we go with it.
Tonight's show is like a continuation of a past show that we did.
Oh, shoot. Gotta get the phone.
We had a lot of people that like that.
Yes, they love that show. It was the science of dating.
Yes, and we talked about the Confederate flag.
Yes.
And the issue on the campus with the transgender.
Yes, and Spelman.
Yes.
I'm gonna be good tonight, y'all.
It's About Time show. I don't know what he got going on. So I'm gonna turn it off. Y'all can see how raggedy I look.
Hey guys, it's Nasira Nakisha Michelle, and I am with the cast and crew of It's About Time.
Hi.
And we are getting ready to be at you with, I think, like you said, a continuation of the
if
last
you're watching
time
either one, I'm sorry.
Call in and
I see where you posted, and we're gonna
Please
try
call
to.
in. The number is area code 423-637-7249.
Get your pen. Y'all got pens and shit.
So call in with your questions.
Hey y'all, hey
so
Monique,
tonight it's about
Anthony,
time.
hey
And
Trish,
I'm back with the cast and crew.
Hey,
it's
Monique.
about time. We're getting set up.
girl, I got a show. It's
Here's
About
Nikki
Time
over
show.
there.
We do this
She's talking
podcast
to her
every week.
people. So we're getting ready.
Every
So
Sunday now. We used to do it
get
on
you
Thursdays,
some
and
Sunday
now we do it on
night snacks.
Sundays.
Get you some
And
wine.
you can, if you
whatever
want to
you
listen
need
to our
chill
past
with,
shows,
some
you can
good
go to
tea,
the It's
herbal
About
tea.
Time show on Facebook.
Relax and enjoy the
Some
show.
of our live shows are on my page as well. You can go to Chuck Beard page. That's Chuck Beard. Like
What's
a
up, little
face.
sis?
You
What
can go to
it
his
do,
page and
baby
check out some
sis?
old shows.
Yeah, I'm always
Tamara.
repping my mug Cowboys. You have to
Hey
text that.
Tamara, but
Yeah.
Monique, we got tonight's show is like a continuation of a show we did before. Basically
That's right,
the science
we
of
boys. We lost
dating.
today.
We talked about dating, and tonight we're going to talk about mating, the science of mating.
Mating. That sounds so
Yes.
great.
Mating.
I'm trying to be good tonight, y'all.
No, we not. We're not
Hey,
even trying to be
Kristen.
good tonight.
Mating.
Let's see.
There we go.
All right, cuz, you about ready?
I'm ready.
We got the theme music
Thank
going.
you for joining us.
Thank you for
So
watching.
thank
We appreciate your attention to us. Go ahead and start this show. And why is my live feed not working? Hey, I apologize, y'all. My live feed is acting crazy. Let me get this straight right here. I know my phone is recording the column because I can't move the column. This is my house. Cole Severs, aka B Angel. What's up? Kelly Harrington, thank you for tuning in. Tish, what's up, Tish? What's up, James? What's up, Nunu? Hi, Nunu.
Thank you, sissy. Thank you. The science of dating tonight on It's About Time podcast show. Woo. We get my girls in order here.
Yes, get the girls.
Girls in order.
Yes, girls.
Keep them in line.
I told somebody yesterday, you gotta get the hell away from people who start to drool.
Thank you, Walter Lee, for the beats. Appreciate that.
Wally.
Hey, why does my phone keep? I wanna. Oh, I'm finna be pissed now.
The phone is working. I see her moving something.
My bad, y'all. Apologize about that. What's up, Tanya? pole
But
is
no,
in the
I don't
way,
sit
though.
here. But the guest took my chair from my corner.
And everybody complains about the pole.
Either way, it's the pole is still in the way. So don't even worry about that.
Yeah, you
We
good.
all three, just three of us be here and it's still be
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately we can't move it.
Can't move it, so I'm sorry about the pole, y'all. But I'm here.
But I'm blocking you on your screen.
I'm blocking myself, period, from the pole on his. Yeah, we be alright. They can hear me. As long as they see you, you will get.
And then my stuff they was saying, dang.
Who's
Okay.
here? Hey, Ronald Murray, don't see you, dude. What's up? What's up, Ronald? Okay. I'm excited. Ronald, what's up with you, brother?
What's up, Ronald? Stay with us. You about to go
We're
get
getting
in.
set up.
Hey y'all, I apologize. Y'all stick with me. What's up, Tiffany? What's up, Tamaris? Dang, y'all. My bad. Trying to get everything together, man. Running late. I ate too much Herman's. That's my problem. You know, soul food Sundays.
I heard it was fried chicken, beans, and
Yes. Alright.
I didn't get it.
I'm sorry. You was at work. I couldn't. I would have. But
Talk about hospitality.
Southern hospitality. Okay.
That's what we should talk about today.
To lead into. You don't get no intimacy because you can't be hospitable.
Right.
You don't know what to do with a girl.
Nah, I'm not messing with y'all today. Okay, let's
I
go.
like what you got going on over there.
Let's go ahead and start. Y'all ready? Hey, welcome to the It's About Time show, and I don't have the damn microphone. Shit.
Good, I can go pee.
Nope, not yet. We done. Just that quick.
Go fix his,
Damn. What the man? Look, you know what? I'm just gonna have to drain my phone. Cause I was trying to keep my charger plugged in, but it's not gonna work. I apologize, y'all. I apologize. Yeah, my bad, Tia. Yeah, my bad. Technical difficulties. Yeah. Technical difficulties. All right, y'all ready? Woo. Hey, welcome to the It's About Time show. I am your co-host, Chuck Beard. I have my other illustrious co-host with us, the Queen, aka Miss Nicole. And then other co-host, the noble himself, Anton, the Candyman Birch.
What it do, people? Good to see y'all on this 9/11. What up?
I'm starting talking like him.
I can't even talk like him.
I don't
Read in the
man,
I don't think
noble.
you
I'm
have.
at the royal court.
I don't think you have dudes to answer deeper than above. You know what I'm saying?
Noble. Hey, Christina.
That's my shrine handle. That's my shrine handle. My shrine handle. I'm a noble.
Yeah, he's actually a noble. He crossed the sands to become a noble.
Oh, I heard that.
I do.
But we want to thank y'all for listening to the show. Thank everybody for your positive feedback, all your comments, everything that we've been getting so far. Because, you know, I have to say that we have been, I guess, humbled, thankful, grateful by the response and support that we've been getting. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I got to introduce our guest because we're doing the love show this evening. Now y'all can call in. I'm going to give you the number in just a second. Our guest is Miss Nasira Michelle. I forgot your last name.
Nasira Nikisha.
Nasira Nikisha.
Right.
Michelle.
Girl, you look so good. I want to put you on play Sabia with a bitch.
So go ahead and introduce yourself. I know if you watched the show before, you heard the show when she was on here before, but I want her to introduce herself, tell us what she does, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I am so excited to be here with you guys again. Thank you for calling me down.
Oh, you're
Yay,
welcome.
I
You're
love
welcome.
you guys.
Thank you for doing this.
So what I do is I have the pleasure of helping women all over the world succeed in their purpose and empower their relationships with men. That means we have to master the ability to live together happily in unity and a lot of intimacy and growth and creativity. So I empower those relationships.
Is happily married an oxymoron? Don't answer that question. Don't answer that question.
Look, I just got over there. Need to be like, bang.
I had to take a deep breath with that one. Oh, God.
Yeah, I had to catch you off guard, you know. But now we're going to go directly into my little segment. What the fuck? Chuck segment. If you have never listened to the show, never watched the show, never been a part of the show, the What the Fuck Chuck segment basically is I'm always online, seeing stuff, crazy stuff, blah, 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 right? And in honor of the love guru, I looked up some crazy breakup messages.
Oh my goodness.
I have one for you though, before you get into that, before you got back here.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna talk about it. I'll tell you after the show because you may want to visit that next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's some shiggity. It's some shiggity dog.
Okay. Look, yeah.
Hey,
I need it.
Sam.
So the crazy messages that people have received, these are all true from what I understand. The first one says, "Is it hot in here, or is this relationship just suffocating me?"
Ooh. What? Is it hot in here, or is this relationship just suffocating me?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read off a few of them. Another one says, "I just can't take the bad sex anymore." That's a cold way to break up with somebody.
Oh, that's so sad.
Roses are red, violets are blue, garbage is dumped, now so are you.
Oh,
That's
these are so
mean.
callous, mean people.
Hey, call it what you want to. I now pronounce you dumped and single. You may now kiss my ass.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Hey, baby, are you being followed? Because I've been seeing people behind your back.
Really? Say that one again.
So, hey, baby,
funny right
are you
there.
being followed? Because I've been seeing people behind your back.
Oh my God, are you being followed? Because I've been seeing people behind your back. Oh Lord.
Really, our time together has just become more effort than you're worth. I wish I could say you're that special person, but you're not.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
You care too much about the KKK. Kim, Chloe, and Courtney.
Oh.
This may be my favorite right
These
here.
are breakup messages?
Yeah,
Breakup messages.
Wow.
Yeah.
This may be my favorite. I just can't live with the pathetic tickles that you call sexual thrust anymore.
In the words of Little Kiddo, she should just say, you can't work the middle because your dick too little.
Hey.
That Little Kiddo said that on the song, man. Hey, man, get out of here.
Goodness.
Another one says, "Hey, babe." Well, no, not that one. It says, "My cat doesn't like you."
Which
So it's all sexual.
It does not
Are we
specify.
talking about the pet?
You're right.
I don't know. It
Which
didn't
cat you
specify.
talking about?
Yeah, that's all I got. They said, "We're like a broken mirror. It is better to leave it broken than hurt yourself trying to fix it."
Ooh, we are like a broken mirror. It is better to leave it broken than hurt yourself to try to fix it. That's
hurt
pretty
yourself.
deep. Don't hurt yourself trying to fix
Don't
this
hurt
broken.
yourself.
Oh my God, that is deep.
I treated this relationship like my diet, one cheat day a week.
Hey, man.
One cheat day a week.
These
Oh,
people are
goodness.
so cold.
They are cold blooded.
There's something I've been wanting to say since the day we met. Goodbye.
Ooh, really?
Damn.
Chuck, what the fuck?
Why? What the fuck?
Hold on. Our relationship is like a fat guy. What? It's not working out.
Ooh.
Wow.
Damn, I like
Said,
that.
I'd rather masturbate than to be with you.
Oh, my
that's so sad.
No, it ain't sad.
Man, that's awful. Now, that's a bad feeling. That's a bad place to be. I don't want to be there. And this is gonna be the last one. Can we still share a Netflix account?
You gonna take my Netflix away?
Oh, little tink tink.
No.
Classic.
That did below the belt right there. You can't take my Netflix account away.
Right.
No more Netflix and chill for you.
No more Netflix.
I'm
and chill.
done.
Yeah, if it ain't me, no, it's not gonna happen.
I would
Man,
need all kind of therapy if somebody broke up with me and said all that. I don't know which worse, just to disappear and don't say nothing,
Right.
or to just say some nasty,
That's
raw
crazy
stuff like that.
stuff.
That's crazy.
I mean, I understand that honesty
Man, just keep it
is-
real
should
with
be
me,
the way,
man.
right? But damn.
From the get-go, keep it 100. God damn. I mean, damn.
Right, you got a point. Because at that point, you got to say some shit like
Yeah.
that. You should have been and said some shit
yeah,
long
you
time
should have said it a
ago.
long time. I mean, but sometimes people stay in stuff, just,
Well,
out of habit or not
needs are
wanting
being
to.
taken care of,
Yeah.
goddammit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying sexual because obviously sexual needs ain't because
What?
sprung and shit ain't going nowhere right now.
No.
I'm just saying. I'm sorry, love guru.
But we're gonna go ahead and jump into the Queen segment called "Give It to 'Em, Queen."
Give it
Oh,
to
you
him,
named
Queen.
it. Give it
I
to
think
Yeah.
it just fell in the lap. That's
him.
all.
Ooh, I love
That's
it.
what she said.
Yeah, just fell on in my lap. What he back there last night? So I'm getting.
I love you.
Well, I don't want to talk about this national anthem thing. That's what I don't want to talk about.
Right.
I'm so sick of talking about this now.
Because everybody's missing the actual point.
And that's the point
And that's the point.
that they trying to make.
Right.
And I'm tired of it because it's like trying to beat the dead horse. You know what I'm saying? I understand it needs to be done. I ain't mad at Colin. I think the way that I feel about it, I said I wasn't gonna talk about it, but the way I feel about it is the people that are rejecting or protesting and all, like where was y'all at when the dude was beating up the wife? What's the man, was he a football player?
Man, yeah, I'm not going to get into that.
This is my point. Y'all want to protest a freaking anthem that obviously there's some issues with. Therefore, there's some issues with the American flag. Not only the American flag, the Confederate flag. But if you're gonna protest for something, it's just too flip flop. Okay, it's too flip flop to me. I'm so sick of hearing about it because I feel like the conversation should be flipped. It should be, what are we gonna do about this? How are we gonna change it? Not you should be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we should all be coming together and figure out how we gonna get up out this shit. But at the end of the day, that's what y'all don't want.
You know, this week, and I'm gonna say yesterday, and I'm gonna put something on the conscience of everybody's minds out there, especially you black people out there. A friend of mine told me he read the Willie Lynch letter. You know you read the Willie Lynch letter?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you never read that, Google it, because that man said it shows how to keep blacks oppressed.
Yeah.
And this man was a slave owner, and it's pertinent to now. And it's funny that this was over 300 and some years ago.
Yeah.
And this man and it's pertinent. He said, I guarantee it will work for at least 300 years, maybe generations.
Yeah.
You people need to read that Willie Lynch letter, because it will make you black people think.
I think it takes 21 days for it to become a habit.
Yeah. Anything. 21 days.
21 days for it to
21
become
consecutive days.
consecutive days for it to become a habit. 21 consecutive days for it to become a habit. So think about that.
But Queen, I ain't gonna shy away from giving it to a Queen. I'm sorry.
Well, no,
That was on my
you're
conscience.
supposed to do that. Like, this is ridiculous.
We supposed to be talking about sex and shit, and I'm getting depressed.
You get depressed? Well, did you
You
want
need
to-
Viagra.
No, hell no. I ain't need nothing.
You don't need no help. You don't need no Viagra.
No.
Please don't give him
Did I
Viagra.
do that?
Of all the people.
You said
Wait
please
a
don't
minute,
do
wait
hell,
a
no
minute.
man, grab all
No, wait a
people.
minute. I'll say this, I employ all these cats that don't need it, that don't be taking it just to make a point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Right,
later
don't
on,
take
you
it
might
if
be
you don't
taking
need
it and the shit ain't gonna
Right, ain't
motherfucking
gonna
work
work.
on your ass.
Cause yes, I got
Yeah, oh, got you to it. It might be a good quality piece. You be talking, man, I've been waiting on this, and your shit gonna say,
This nigga, get this.
I can't stand them already.
what I do? It is no and you'll be mad as hell.
I was trying to get
Yeah.
man.
Man, I've been waiting on that shit for 6 months, goddammit. How we get on this? Wait a minute,
Right.
give it to a queen.
Yeah, yeah, go and make some.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, do what you do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go back into and say I'm not gonna talk about the national anthem. So therefore, I'm gonna talk about Clinton.
Okay.
Yes, it's her turn, y'all. Y'all know how they were clowning on Donald Trump and he out here dogging folks out and talking bad about people. Well, she decided she had something to say too. So just the other day, she says that half of Trump supporters could be put in a basket of deplorables.
Ooh.
Man, that's rough.
Ooh.
She says they're racist,
Yeah.
they're sexist,
Yes.
they're homophobic,
What?
Yes.
they're xenophobic,
Ooh.
they're Islamophobic,
Yes.
and she states that no one with that low of an opinion of the American people should ever be elected president of the United States.
Go Hillary! Woo! Salute you.
Yeah.
Go Hillary!
Yeah.
So now folks want to dog Hillary out and say she's being a racist. She just as bad as Trump.
Man. Look here, man. I'm
On top of the fact they claim she passed out the other day. I'm
They
saying
They trying to throw her
her
health,
health
man.
all along. They might. Why they ain't trying to? Well, he's a man, so that's why
Who?
they ain't questioning his health.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He probably a good boy.
Man, they trying to find something or anything that's wrong with Hillary Clinton at
Right.
this point. Because everything they try to catch her up in,
They
she
can't
gets
do
out
it.
of.
She
Right.
gets out of it.
Right.
I mean, does it look shady that she deleted 30,000 emails? It
Yes.
does. But at the end of the day, the FBI director, after their federal investigation, said that we did not have enough to prosecute.
The FBI said that.
Yeah,
Not the
FBI.
police.
No.
Not
The
the-
big men,
Yeah.
the
Not
feds.
the New York
Yeah,
City
the
police.
CIA has investigated her. Said they didn't have enough
For
to
real?
prosecute. Yeah. Meanwhile, Trump is a candidate that has, was it 6 lawsuits that are open right now,
Man.
and just had another one open last month with the rape
You ain't
allegations.
supposed to be talking about that
I'm
though.
sorry, my bad. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
today we supposed to be upbeat. I'm ready
Yeah,
for the
upbeat.
dirty talk.
Bullshit.
He said I'm ready for dirty talk.
But I wanted to bring Clinton up because I want y'all to be aware that the elections are coming up.
Yeah.
Man,
Please
please.
be aware that the elections are coming up in November, and we all need to be there, no matter what everybody else is saying.
And
Yeah.
please, because
Need
P.
to be
Diddy's
there,
trying to
not only-
spread the motherfuckers don't vote. Fuck a bunch of that
If
shit.
you
And he
have
was just
family,
on the rock the vote shit up. I'm sorry.
if
go
you
ahead.
have
I'm sorry.
children,
It might have been a few
friends
weeks
that you
before.
care about, somebody that you care about, you need to be there. It's not for yourself, for them. And at this point, I really don't know, who you gonna vote for. And if you really think about it, it's kind of scary that someone might not even be voted.
Open up your ears, people. Just
So,
open your ears
I
and
just
open
want
your
y'all to really
conscience,
think
man.
about that.
I mean,
And
and then we as black people know what racism sounds like. Covert and overt racism.
right.
And we know when covert racism has been put into play. And then that's what Caucasian society doesn't understand when covert racism comes up. And that's what they try to act like is not happening. But we know it. We used to it. We see it. We work with it. We have to live with it every environment that we go to, especially being here in the South.
right,
But-
right.
Go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I
I'm off my
also
high
wanted to
horse.
bring to light, it's a new film that's coming out called Hidden Figures.
Yes!
And
January 13th,
Okay.
2017.
Thank you. The love guru and shit. That was big.
Man.
Because I didn't have the day.
Damn.
So thank you.
And I know what this movie about.
The movie is it's a film directed by a guy named Theodore Melfi. And it's a screenplay co-written with Allison Schroeder.
Mhm.
It's based on a nonfiction book called The Hidden Figures of the same name by Margaret Lee Shelby. Okay, I'm throwing that out there just in case you want to research.
Yeah.
Okay, the film stars Taraji P. Henson as Katherine Johnson. She is the African American physicist, space scientist, and a mathematician who calculated flight process for Project Mercury and 1969 Apollo 11 flight to the moon, man landing on the moon. And it also has Octavia Spence from The Help.
Octavia, that's right.
And it also has Janelle Monáe and
That's
some
who, okay.
other
Janelle and
great
Octavia.
actors
Okay.
and actresses. The book talks about basically how during World War II that the aerospace industry hired black female mathematicians to fill the labor shortage. And so basically, while they were there, they called them like human computers. And so the story is basically about how they conquered NASA and basically their dreams. And I wanted to bring that to light because if you guys remember being in school, and this is probably a whole nother topic, but if you remember being in school, all you remember is the man landed on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You've never heard this story before. I've never heard this story before, and I feel bad because I've never heard this story before. It kind of makes me angry. It's like one time I heard a story about how the real Rosa Parks story happened, and I was very angry when I heard about it. I'm not gonna go into it. That's
Please
another-
do. What the real
Okay, so this is what I hear. The real Rosa Parks was not the real lady that ended up on the bus. The real lady that ended up on the bus was a young lady who was pregnant. She was like 15 or 16 years old, and she was the one that refused to get up. But they wanted the controversy to be out, you know, the NAACP and all them. So they took Rosa Parks and a couple other people, I can't remember, but they took them to Tuskegee to learn how to protest and fight. And so they staged the bus boycott. So Rosa Parks, it wasn't really about her, it was about the movement, right, the story of the little girl. They didn't want to put the little girl up there because one, she was 15 and pregnant, two, she was darker. And as you can see, Rosa Parks is lighter. But I say all of that to say, going back to this Hidden Figure story, is we don't hear those stories. We don't hear the truth.
Hey, Vanilla.
Now, I researched that story, and you can research it too. I can't say, you know, that it's fully true or not. I believe that it is about the Rosa Parks. But this story right here, it amazes me how you had black women behind these men in NASA traveling in space, going to the moon.
That's the story, or that's our story in America. Because if you think about it, you had what's his name, Thomas Edison.
Right.
His understudy or whatever you want to call him was it Granville T. Woods? Like Thomas Edison technically invented the light bulb, but Granville T. Woods was the one that made sure the light bulb stayed lit. Thomas Edison's light bulb would blow out in a day or two, where Granville T. Woods figured out how to make the filament in it. So that, then you got Lewis Latimer, who was with Lewis oh my God, I can't think of the other dude's name. The Alexander Graham Bell. He was like Alexander Graham Bell was the CEO of the company, so he got credit for it. But Lewis Latimer was the one that was doing all the research. Alexander Graham Bell was out there getting money for the company and solicited in the company. So I mean, you hear about Alexander Graham Bell and you hear about Thomas Edison, but you don't hear about the black people that made them the successes that they were.
Lewis Howard Latimer was an American inventor and a draftsman. You can Google him. You can Google everybody we just talked about, but I just want to bring that to light. I think we need to we need to start doing our research.
Yep.
And we need to start reading and getting out there and finding out what's true and what's not true, because it's obvious what they were teaching us in school is not really what's really going on. So I'm saying all of that to encourage you to go see the movie in January. And if you can, before you go see the movie, read the book. That's what I plan to do. So the last thing that I wanted to do was just kind of shout out to Usher. This is kind of a local thing. Usher is not from Chattanooga, however. He's not from Chattanooga, however, he lived here for a while.
Well, he was born there.
He went to school
here. We go with this shit.
Yeah.
And
he must be from Rome, Georgia, or something.
No. Everybody from Rome, Georgia.
He was born here and lived here up until a certain age.
Usher came back to his hometown school, elementary school, and put on a benefit concert.
At Delwood.
At Delwood, invitation only. And I heard that it was awesome. And a lot of people were giving him some hate about it because they felt like it shouldn't have been invitation only.
Man.
And he should have had like a
Who else is coming to Chattanooga putting on?
Man, no. It ain't got shit to do with that. The motherfuckers hating because this man, look here.
Because he don't rep Chattanooga.
All y'all had to do, he reps it now because he got his backlash. But look here, all y'all had to do was go donate some damn supplies Thursday night.
Thank you.
Don't get mad, man, because this man's trying to do something positive. You sitting on your ass at home ain't doing shit. Look, all you had to do is go donate some supplies.
If I was off, I had to work. Somebody actually sent me a message and had an extra ticket and I could have went, but I had to work. Yeah, I hate that a lot of hate was spewed out because he did this, and I just want to shout out and congratulate him and just show appreciation that he did do that for the community because they need it.
Yeah.
The rest of these mother ain't doing nothing. Want to hate on the man.
Yeah, exactly.
Want to hate on the man. I ain't getting no ticket to the concert. Man, shit your ass at home.
That's what they was doing.
Well, there was plenty of people broadcasting live. I ain't give a damn. I can see it on Facebook Live because they wasn't supposed to have all that going on.
Man.
But oh well.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's Give It To Him Queen for this week. Thank you for everybody listening.
Yeah, thank you, and we thank you. All right.
Hey, Roy.
So
thank you
now
for joining.
we're going to our next segment, which is My Nigga of the Week.
My nigga. What up, party people? Yeah, it's that time for My Nigga of the Week. For those that have never listened, let me give a refresher. My Nigga of the Week is just not somebody black because I say My Nigga of the Week. It's somebody that has stood out above and beyond all the people of anybody, well, not all the people, of everything that's going on here in the week. With that being said, and it being the anniversary of September 11, 2001, my nigga of the week are all those that sacrificed their lives trying to help those at the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
From the families to those that are still mourning the loss of their loved ones. Man, y'all are my nigga. Because without y'all, hey, some of the people wouldn't have made it out alive. I hear a story about the guy in the bandana, which they're doing the ESPN 30 for 30 on. It was a guy that was in a bandana that was working for the fire department. That's how people identified him. That he was going up saving people and everything and bringing them down. But that bandana was his father's. It was given to him when he was a little boy.
So
he always wore it when he was a fireman up till he became a fireman. So on this day, to everybody, the people that perished, the loved ones, those in remembrance, y'all are my nigga of the week.
Shout out to all prayers to all of the victims. They always say one day at a time and time heals everything, but I know that this is something really tough. I think it's tough for everybody. Most people can remember where they were that day.
Yes.
If you were alive and if you were over 10, 12 years old, you knew where you were and what happened that day. And I just want to send all blessings and prayers up to all the victims and the families and the children who didn't have parents growing up. So.
And us being adults, it's being taught in schools. That's your age and how relevant, man.
Is it?
Yes.
15 years ago.
It's been 15 years ago and it's being taught in schools.
I know my baby just turned 11 today, and she knew that tragedy was associated with her birthday, because whenever she tells somebody when her birthday is, they go, it's like a shock factor. Her birthday is today. She turned 11. So today she actually took the time and went on YouTube to see what it was about. And she just looked at me like, Mommy, you mean the plane crashed into the tower? Mommy, it crashed into another tower. Like, she was just like, oh, I get it now. Like, she was like, Mommy, this really happened? I was like, yes. So now she understands why people go, you know, oh, your birthday is on, because she always gets that. And then she says, well, I know it was a sad day, but I was a good thing that came out of it.
That's right. You are a bright light, baby.
Yeah. But with that, I want to say also my condolences, my thoughts and prayers are with the families. Like you say, it's one of those days that we will never forget. At least as long as I'm alive, I will never forget it. And, you know, it was one of the more tragic experiences that I've ever seen. And, you know, can't beat the bush too much, because, like, it was just one of those things that we never thought we'd see in our lifetime. And when it did happen, nobody was prepared for it.
Nobody.
But when it happened, there were brave men, brave women that stepped up all over the country. And
shout out to all the first responders and responders
Man,
in the
yes.
military. Like, that's what's up.
But with that being said, we're gonna take a short break. Everybody on the live feed, you know, y'all stick with us. For the next segment, we're gonna start throwing questions to the love guru over here.
It's gonna get real over here.
Yeah, we're gonna throw some questions to the love
It's gonna get real in
Oh, Lord.
And the number, if you want to call in, you got any questions that you want to ask, we'll put you on speakerphone or whatever. The number is area code 423-637-7249. Again, that's 423-637-7249.
Hit us up, people.
Okay, so you guys heard the next segment is your love questions, your intimacy questions, and you can call in, and or I'll be looking at the screen.
And some of y'all bring some food over here.
Your questions or your comments. I'll be making sure I look at the screen to also entertain them. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in and supporting me and supporting It's About Time podcast show. It is always exciting to be with these guys. It's never a dull moment, and that's why I say yes, because I like to be where the party and the fun is.
Oh, shoot, the music ain't playing. We don't got no music. What's going on here?
Oh, you gotta turn the volume up.
Oh, who
So
cut
turn
that?
it down because you had it on what you call it. Introduction.
Trap music. Trap music. I can't even watch the video, man. My live feed ain't working. That's that garbage,
You
man.
gotta update your computer.
I should. I just got this computer. I don't know. My live feed ain't working. Let's see who's looking. What's up, Kai? The topic is we are asking the love guru questions about love and relationships and all that stuff.
Stop this one and then restart it again.
We gotta work on a way to make that first segment shorter.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna stop this one, but I'm gonna restart it. So just hang tight, guys. Okay?
Yeah, I know. We started talking and just, yeah. All right, y'all ready?
No, wait.
Okay, let me know when you're ready to Hey, cuz, I see that flyer.
Now and 11 is something that's taught rather than remembered. This is a new generation. How you ladies over here doing today?
Great, how are you?
Blessed and highly favored. Girl, I ate like a... Steak came out so
to go back to square. And nothing else came home, shut the down.
When y'all get house phone around here? What phone is it? That's my work. Hey everybody.
You've been having 8 people watching you. That's what's up. Thank you, everybody.
I was watching, but I can't watch you and the show live at the same time. So,
Delay.
which one would you rather me watch?
I mean, it don't matter. I don't have
I'm glad y'all done talking about.
Stephanie, hey Sheree, hey Sheree.
That makes me like, hold them now. Call me now.
I don't understand why I can't see this video, man. This is really like upsetting me, though. I don't know. I don't get it. Anton.
Maybe you want to play it.
Yeah, I thought, shit, I supposed to cross you out here. That's how Joe in here. I'm like,
Alright, here we go.
give me something I know Chuck will make sound pretty good.
Oh, man.
I knew that was gonna be up
You
there.
can have all of them. Whatever's up there is yours, homie. I promise you. Sneak this out. Y'all ready?
We ready?
Man, you and the chips on the radio. No, last week you was.
So funny.
Y'all ready?
We ready.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce everything. Y'all wanna call in? Hey, welcome back to the It's About Time show. Now we're gonna get into our feature segment with Miss Nasira, Nikisha, Michelle on the ones and the twos. She is the love guru, the relationship expert, the relationship healer. So what we're gonna do tonight is just ask her questions about dating, mating, mating,
Mating.
and
He's so old fashioned.
and love
Mating.
in general. I mean, you know, they rhyme. That's the only reason.
Dating and mating.
Can we say a slap fist?
Get the headboard going.
Oh God.
But if y'all want to call in, y'all got questions for the love guru herself. Our number is 423-637-7249. Again, that's 423-637-7249. If you're on the live feed, you can scroll up and see it. I know Cuz put it on there already. That being said, I'm gonna ask the first question. Wow. And it's kind of a two-part question.
Oh God. I'm old. You gotta just
Oh,
say
man,
break it
look,
up.
it's a two-part question. Oh, it's not a hard one. It may be difficult, but my question is, since you are a love expert, where should sex fall on the priority list? And if everything is great except for the sex, and the sex is bad, should you stay with that person?
Okay, that is two questions. That's two questions.
Okay.
It's two questions, but it's good. It goes together. So the first question is, where should sex come in the relationship?
On the priority list.
On the priority
Yeah.
list. Okay. So on the it really, honestly, shouldn't be in the priority list. Where it needs to be is when you and the person that you're with
have made a commitment that agrees with both of your spirits?
Lord, okay.
When
I want
say
practical answers. I don't want to beat around.
Okay, so
clinical answers.
honestly, what happens is a lot of times dating has stages. And what happens is the first stage is the honeymoon stage. That's when everything is all exciting. My chemistry is high. I'm liking you, you liking me, and we always do everything in that first stage. But once we get out of the stage where everything feels good, then we have remorse and regrets, and we realize we don't like how he don't pick his drawers up, and we don't like how her hair looks, and we start to notice stuff. And so now we're all upset because you had sex too soon. Sex does not come in until after the honeymoon phase is over, which means it takes about 91 days being with this person consecutively.
So you with the Steve Harvey theory.
But see, the theory about the Steve Harvey thing, he's not saying wait 91 days, then have sex. He's saying pay attention to this person for that length of time and the signs. And does this person agree with who you are? Because in the beginning stages, everybody's in love and excited. But if you can let that stage pass and go through the other stages, do you still like that person? Are you going to respect yourself if you sleep with that person? And most of us don't. Once that stage is over, we mad that we even, did something. Or another thing that happens is after the honeymoon stage is over, the man and the woman is usually at different stages. After the honeymoon stage, the woman is ready to get married. She's like, oh my God, I hope he's the one. And he's like, I just hit it. So we have to make sure you're on the same. So when I say your spirits are agreeing, you have to make sure you're in the same stage. Because if you're not, it's not going to work, and somebody's going to be hurt after the sex. Because the sex is supposed to be the last part of the bonding of the union. And if you don't want to bond with this person, why are you screwing them?
So the sex should be last.
It should be last. It should be the last thing you think about. Because now, to answer your second question, if we have bonded on all levels and we have like minds and we're going in the same direction and we really like each other, when it comes down to that, it won't matter if it's good or bad. It's stuff that can be taught. You can go to experts to learn how to make it work. It may be that everything about the sexual encounter ain't good, but if you build a foundation, that sex won't even matter if it's good or not, because after a while, you don't have sex anyway.
I don't know about that.
Ask married people. After a while, that's the last thing that married people are constantly thinking, sex, sex, sex. It's when you're not married. You think about sex. Single people think about sex all the time.
They must not think about sex because they're getting it on a regular basis that they want to get it on.
Right.
If they're not getting on a regular basis, I'm sure that they're probably thinking about sex. Or one person in that relationship.
Well, you're thinking about it, but it's not like sex is the priority because you got so many other things you're working on and dealing with. Sex is not the priority. And after a while, when you start to just begin in your companionship, you just want companionship. You ain't really like horny dogs all the time. It's not like that. Single people think that's what's happening, but that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been married, but shit.
It was still high on the priority list.
Right.
Especially when you wasn't getting it.
Right.
Samuel Dwayne Robinson
Well, you
asked.
should have asked the question. Hold up for Sam. You should have asked the question if for married or single.
That's true.
Because you can't put that in the same category. The prior to what I'm trying to say.
Well, either or. I guess it's been answered now, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying for either or it shouldn't be, but for marriage, I don't know.
Yeah, because remember it does because it's what keeps the bond.
Right.
And but you have to have the foundation. The foundation is like it's like the ingredients of a cake. To make a great cake, you have to have the right ingredients.
It should definitely be in the top 5 for marriage.
For marriage, but yes, if you're not having a good sex life, but again, sex is not. It's not about how much you're having. Especially when I talk to my older couples who are very healthy and have good relationships, it's about when they come together how special it is and how they're in sync with each other.
Okay. Well, I say because this is my thing right here, and it takes years to learn that sex is supposed to be spiritual.
It is. Not supposed to, it is.
No, it's a
Sex is spiritual. Men know how to compartmentalize it so that they're removed from it. But it is. Okay,
no, because it's women that compartmentalize it too. It's not just men. It's a lot of.
They learn to do that.
Lord Jesus, no, we're not gonna get into that debate.
They learn to
no,
do it.
we can't blame whorish women on men.
Right.
They learn
What's
to
the world's
do
oldest
that.
profession? It didn't get here
They
because
learn
of
to
men.
do that.
No,
it,
but okay, let
okay,
me say, sex should be spiritual, but like what we have done is taken the spirituality out of it, right? Because if you've read any tantra or anything like that, you know, it explains the spiritual bond and the connection that happens, and also at the moment of conception, you know, your union and your oneness is the closest that you'll ever be to God.
Right.
But we got a question from Dwayne Robinson.
All right, Dwayne.
Before we get to the Queen and the Candyman.
Okay.
Why does good sex seem to prolong bad relationships? Hallelujah. Should have bought a Honda. Should have bought a Honda.
Why does good sex prolong bad relationships?
Yes.
I don't think that it prolongs it. I just think that people enjoy sex. It is like a drug. And when, let me say it like this, because you said stop eating around the brush. Okay.
Yeah,
When you unhealthy and you in an unhealthy relationship, that makes it feel good. It's almost like it soothes the sore. It's very temporary, but it feels good. So you like, I can handle all the drama because I know when we get together and we do this, it makes it all right. So that's why you do that. It's like a it's just a temporary soother that you use, like some people who drink, some people who smoke. It's a temporary soother. But that is all the signs of an unhealthy relationship. And after a while, it's going to get tiring, and even that's going to get boring. And it's not going to be enough. And somebody's going to get hurt.
I want to get back. She wants us to be like Russell Wilson. I give that man all the props, and I ain't knocking it. Yeah, sex. I didn't mean to skip over his question, but I've been going to say this. Yeah, Russell Wilson. Well, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn, Sierra. Yeah, them videos out there now. And that people with my body, there ain't gonna be no deal. I'm sorry. I commend him for waiting.
Did you really think they waited?
I think they did.
I think they did too, because he wanted to show her the same way with Megan Good and
Megan Good, that's my boo
Megan
too.
Good and Devon Franklin, because and they have a book called The Wait. It is something very powerful when you learn to lay the foundation, go through the healing that you both need. Because everybody needs healing when it comes to breaking and separation of all the relationships you've been in and all the stuff that you've had to endure when it comes to male-female relationships. Right. So they took the time to go through that and build that perfect cake. So when you build the perfect cake, I just really feel like if you take the time and build that cake, the sex has got to be the bomb. I just don't believe you're going to build a cake, and when you get to lay the icing, the sex is the icing. I don't think it's like
Can I say something?
They think y'all a man.
Y'all just so hurt to eat the icing. You gotta build a cake.
Because it's going to be more emotional for her. It's going to be more
everything
intimate. It's going to be a truer intimate for you because it's just gonna be.
It's gonna be so
powerful. You still like if you don't have that foundation, you ain't gonna have that.
Right.
Just because you wait don't mean it's gonna be good.
Right.
But you're not telling the other part. You waited, but when you were going through your wait period, what were you doing? Was this the person for you?
Do we need to ask this question?
What were you doing? What were you waiting and doing? What were you building? Who was this person? There's a lot of, like I said, it's like a cake. You got to have the right amount of eggs, the right oil, the right sugar, the right vanilla and powder. What was going on in your cake? You can't just say I held on and waited and had sex. It was horrible.
And it was.
But that might not have been the person for you.
Obviously it
Well,
wasn't,
shit.
but I'm saying like, okay, you know,
I wasted this goddamn time in this.
like you, okay, in this lifetime, we looking for, it's what, 5 billion people on this planet, and we trying to find one. And as a young, hold on, let me talk. As a younger person, you get shit wrong all the time.
Yes.
Right.
And the person may feel right, talk right, do everything right, and then be the right person until, look, the D and the P will make you crazy.
Right.
So when that moment happens, you know, some changes, some clicks
But
on,
see, what she's saying is that moment shouldn't happen at that point because y'all still ain't figured each other out.
Well,
I
I'm
can't
saying-
seal the deal,
okay.
goddammit.
91 days, she said, to learn the person.
It could be
and all.
more
And
than
I
that.
thought,
That's just
but I thought that I had. And then like, okay, at what point do you know, okay, this is the time we go ahead and fuck now?
But
Ain't
who
no time.
decided that, and why did you decide to do it?
Man, that's a hard question to answer.
That's the question I would ask.
Because shit just happened.
Were you tired of waiting? Because I can give you a
It
scenario
was-
now.
I
I have a client now that she really feels like she's met the right person. He feels like she's the right person. And it ain't been 90 days. And I've been in her ear like, go through the process, build something amazing. But them things between your legs be so hot, you can't hear nothing. And you feel like you can't seal the deal until you know what's going to happen down there. Now, because you haven't built the foundation and you're burning hot between your legs, so you go ahead and have the sex, and now it ain't all that. Now you got to reconsider. Now, before the sex, you thought that was the person for you. Now you done had the sex, and it wasn't what you've been used to. That's why you have to go through the healing process. Because you got to get all those other sexual experiences that you have with all these other people out of your system and be ready for that one person. And that one person can't satisfy you if you're comparing them with everybody you've already been with. So now she's in her mind like, oh, I ain't gonna have sex with him. Now, oh, it was
It ain't
horrible.
even about a comparison though.
You don't think it is, but biologically it is, because when you said the sex wasn't all that, according to who and according to what?
According to what I felt. Like it just
What do you mean? Was there no connection, or she just compared to what you had?
I'll say that
It didn't compare.
We were together a year and a half after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, okay, when I say it was bad, like she didn't know how to move.
But how do you know she didn't know how to move? You were comparing it to what?
She wasn't moving at all. Let me just say.
So I mean, but did you give her instructions?
I tried, yeah. For a year and a half, I tried. For a year and a half, I tried. And then, didn't like oral. I'm a very oral. She liked getting it, but she didn't like giving.
But did y'all talk about that during the cake making process?
Yeah, we did.
What did y'all talk about? She said she liked giving oral. Did she trick you?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, God. Well, your intuition wasn't on. Your instincts
Dude,
didn't work.
we ain't got intuition.
Y'all got instincts. Your instincts was not working. You wasn't listening. You just like,
y'all listen to that down there before you listen.
exactly. You weren't
Right.
listening.
Because look, because the blood come from my head, my motherfucking, I can't think and I can't motherfucking move. So you motherfucking right. Yeah, it comes
You
from that.
wasn't listening.
I'm real on
You
that
already painted a picture of your happy ever after, and that's what you were listening to your
That's
fantasy.
where that blood come from. So I'm really dumb and I can't fucking move. That's where the blood come from. I may be acting funny, but that's the truth on the
He had
man.
a fantasy in his head,
'Cause I'ma tell you-
and that's all he
I'ma
was
tell
you- It wasn't even about a
listening to. You asked her a
fantasy.
few questions. Do you like giving?
No,
head?
we
She said
talked-
yes, and then you.
No, we talked about, like, literally, we like for 90 days, sex was still part of the conversation. It wasn't all that we talked about, and it wasn't necessarily the what am I saying, the topic of conversation every time that we talked. But it was there. Like, we had conversations about it a lot, and from what I understood and what I heard her say, it didn't match up to what really happened. You know, tired quick. You know, not moving, not want to do anything.
So
Then-
what else
then-
outside of the sex? What else was going on in the relationship?
I mean, Like, it was the whole getting to know you thing. Like, you know, we were talking on the phone. We were going out, doing that kind of thing. Like, courting. Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
I mean,
You was courting, but what I'm trying to get to was, do you know that she felt the same way about you that
Was it
you do?
mutual? I was
Were
thinking
you on the
thing.
same
Look.
page?
as far as I knew, yeah.
Look.
He's like, dude, don't even answer that question.
I'm not.
'Cause it don't sound like it.
No, I'm not talking about him not answering it.
But
I'm
what?
just trying to keep myself from answering. Look, just being real and being on and understanding where he's coming from on that. It's hard for me to believe that both people, just because we're human, we're gonna have those thoughts. You know, although there's a weight in there. She could have been the lamest screw on earth, but in her mind and through those talks, if she been there, it's gonna be up in here. I wonder what it's like. And he's having that. I can't wait to get that. That's just, it's in us on both sides. Some people may not have it. I mean, we're not all the same. But generally, look, I say it like this. I commend Making Good. I commend Russell Wilson.
I couldn't do it.
Couldn't have been me. I was making good, sexy ass. Goddamn. Oh,
I do want to say this. Out of all the people that I know went through their healing process and learned to build the relationship, and sex was the very last thing, they were not disappointed.
I mean,
They were not disappointed.
I believe.
And you can even tell in their mannerisms, they knocking it out. They having a good time, including me. I waited. But it still has to be the right match. Some of us are just grabbing people and making them the match, asking certain questions and be like, okay, they passed that test. But in your heart of hearts and your chemistry, something, you know that there's something is off, but you don't know what that offness about. So then we think that sex is supposed to heal that part that's off, or maybe if I just have sex with her, it'll feel better, and maybe that's what it is. I just don't know sexually what's up with her.
And see, that was the reason for my first question, because everything else was good, but it got to the point that I was frustrated.
But if everything else was good, that frustration should have just been kind of water under the bridge. You came, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You couldn't even come. Now something was off in the relationship. Something was completely off in the relationship.
Why it gotta be the relationship? Why
Because they
it
go
just be-
together. They go together. You cannot sit up here and tell me that everything was so on the top, on the mountaintop except for that. What is that?
They do go together, y'all. Either regardless of whether you wanted to or
If
not.
I love my man so much, I'm gonna be up reading.
Okay, somebody
How?
said on your page,
Okay, go ahead.
love ties. I'm sorry, but
Soul
somebody
ties,
soul
yeah.
ties. That's basically, and it's in the Bible, cuz
No, I understand that.
like it's soon, and I tell you
I understand
all the
what
time.
soul ties are.
You
Hey,
can't-
Jerry.
you
Hey,
can't
Monet.
put that
Hey,
down on
Tiffany.
everybody.
I don't
Hey,
know the other
Diara.
way.
Hey, Tony Coleman Brown.
You
Thanks for
can't do that
joining.
because you gonna
If you
be
guys have
disappointed.
questions, make sure you ask your questions in the
You gonna
comment
be
section or
disappointed.
call in.
Disappointed. You can't keep doing that. Like,
But if she,
the relationship has to be in it because of the soul tie. As soon as you stick that little thing up in there, it's a soul like.
And hit the back.
If you ain't look at her, if you ain't never looked at her in her face, as soon as you hit that soul tie,
It is.
like it just is what it is.
yeah, that is a woman's thing. I have come to realize that.
That's why we say y'all
Because
think
we
with those
see
things
her.
and we think what I think.
But like he said, there are some out there that aren't like that. They do think like a man. And I was married to one.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
learn. That's a learned behavior. That is
Learned
not a
behavior.
natural thing.
Yeah,
for a
I
woman.
understood that after the fact.
Yeah, that's
With all the
learned
bullshit
behavior.
that used to be strode at
So
me.
is it learned behavior in men too?
No, naturally men are animalistic, and that's where the that's where the
Yeah,
concept
no,
all came
we
from.
not.
Where's
Yeah.
the give me
But no,
pussy?
biologically you're made up. Biologically you're made up to have a lot of sex and procreate a whole lot. That's your biological makeup. If you look at the Bible, honestly, they had 1,000
Yeah.
concubines.
Yeah, that was Solomon.
He was hitting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How
Solomon
you
did
get
his thing.
1,000
I mean,
women?
700 wives.
Yeah.
So when it comes to marriage and being with a mate, honestly, women have to really be careful because you guys release. You release. We receive. Every time we receive, we become one to you. We become joined to you emotionally, biologically, everything. It changes everything in us. And we become one to you. And that's why it's hard. Now, when a woman has had enough heartbreak that alters her, then that testosterone kicks in, and then she becomes learns how to compartmentalize that part of her and cut the feeling off of it and use it against you guys. Because I've heard women say, I'm just going to screw him and take his money. It's a learned behavior because of all of that or something that happened in their childhood.
Some of us be like that though.
What, the men? You guys are naturally like that. You go sniffing for what you want. You do whatever. You study her to figure out how to get it. You go along with the program long enough to study your prey. Then after you study your prey, you go in for the kill. And if it ain't what you really thought it was going to be, you're done with her and you're on to the next one.
Let's just say we agree to disagree on that.
Thank you.
Because I think it's some women that was born.
Right. I said, tell them, ladies.
I think it's some women that was born with that in them. That they
Right.
they don't fuck. Whoever it is they want to fuck, however they want to do it. It don't matter about the heartbreak. Because just like it's male hoes, it's female hoes.
But what you're not understanding is, yes, some people are born hypersexual. I'm a hypersexual creature. I am.
I'm not making
hypersexual.
Hypersexual.
What is hypersexual?
What I'm saying
we get aroused easily and we love to have sex.
What I'm saying is,
some people call it nympho.
Right.
That's
what I was going to ask.
There are people that are just born that like sex with multiple people. It don't matter what gender you are. It's not gender specific. And you're making it gender specific. I don't think that it is. I don't think that you can just blanket have a blanket.
Historically, in the way men are made up. That's why.
Well, and I understand how men are made up. But for you to make a blanket statement and say that this is what men do, this is what women do, and a man made a woman this way, it's not always
But you're
the
saying,
case.
but what we need to understand is the hypersexual women that you're talking about, it's always a, what do you call it? It's always an exception to the rule. They're exceptions to the rule. But the rule is most women are not made up to have 50,000 partners. That's why we get schizophrenia and all kind of crazy and start busting out car windows and all, because we're not made up. We're made to be taken care of. We're fragile. We're fragile beings until we can't take it no more. Then we get strong and start thinking like men and start acting like men.
Man.
But I don't want to say fragile, but we're meek. But now a lot of women have had to become the men that they really wanted in their lives to protect them, to take care of them.
Wow. Okay. We're not going to get nowhere with this one, Chuck.
Next question. Who got a question?
I don't know. I'm scared now. I was like, where it was going with the hypersexual stuff. That's a jazzier way to say nympho.
Nympho, hypersexual.
Hypersexual.
Some are hyper, and then some are they resist sex because of, again, something that they've gone through with men or something they've experienced, some trauma that they've experienced growing up as a child.
Wow. I mean,
well, they resist it. They don't want it. No matter. I have clients who just are not into sex. And that could be, you don't know, but you don't know until you really go through a whole season of dating people and really get to know what's in their childhood, what's going on. Remember I said before, after a certain period of time, you're dating people's demons. You got to know if you can deal with those demons that they've gone through.
That is true.
The honeymoon phase is over.
No, I agree with that. You gotta, if you're gonna be with somebody, you gotta, like, that's why the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff, you gotta be willing to deal with and work with them.
But you said everything was good except for that. So why are you still not with her if that was the only thing that wasn't good? That's where I'm at.
The sex is important to them.
Yeah.
On the
Sex was important. It wasn't getting no better. Like, I mean, and I tried to talk. She was not open about, after we had sex, she wasn't open about changing how she was in regards to her sex. Which, if I'm not being fulfilled, you know, and you're not willing to bite the bullet and, you know, go the extra mile to help me be fulfilled, and at some point the frustration takes over, and you know, like the build up.
Was she a virgin, and did she like
no,
you?
she wasn't a virgin.
Okay.
She said she liked me. Yeah.
What was the age difference?
Couple years.
So not even that. That's a puzzle to me.
I think what it was, you got tricked at the end of the day. She
B asked a question.
fell in
what you
love with a
said
fantasy.
about the sex.
And you was on another level. You was on one level, she was on another.
No.
You just
no,
got
no,
them
no.
freaky. Basically,
Yeah.
okay, let me break this down. So she ain't had number one or two dudes and she done fucked with this man done been over here, man, been around the block.
That's
And
what
he done
I'm
picked
saying.
it up.
That was my point
Hey.
exactly.
I
You
ain't mad
know
at
what
that.
it is, and she didn't. And he wasn't willing to slow down and grow with her.
At her age, well, I'm
Why
not
is the sex toy industry a billion dollar?
Ooh, ooh.
That's his question.
We got a good question from the Peanut Gallery.
Okay, Peanut Gallery.
They own them today.
Why is the sex toy industry a $1 billion industry?
Thank you. Thank you, Peanut Gallery.
That's cool.
That was Coach Stevens,
That's Coach
aka Big Angel.
Big Angel, appreciate that.
Yeah, that's
It's
we in
a-
the wrong business.
Yeah, let's get into that.
It really is.
And you know, and wow, okay, Chuck, I'm gonna ruin it for you.
Go ahead.
And they were even saying, what was that? What I was reading to you, Queen? Robotic sex may even be better and take over and ruin civilization.
Have you seen those? They're making flesh like men and flesh like women.
They will do everything. Won't say no.
Yeah.
If y'all watch a show,
And they're
come on
expensive,
Stars
too.
called
Goddamn,
Survivor.
I better start saying my penis.
The guy is Tashina Arnold plays on the show, and her boyfriend made her one because they live long distance. Yeah,
Made of his?
it made him and made
Oh,
her.
I'm a
It
mold
looked-
me,
it looked
goddamn it.
exactly
It ain't
like
gonna
her,
be.
and one-
Yeah, I'm a mold me, goddamn. It's gonna be a me doll.
But they have that though. They have that. You can take a penis and mold it. The woman can mold it. Like, you know how you do a cast?
Yeah,
And you mold the penis and turn that into the dildo, and so the sheep
Right.
still and then turn it into a
That's what I'm
dildo.
talking about.
But you can mold yourself. You can.
Oh, man.
They have those kits, and the reason it's $1 billion is because it speaks to people's fantasies. It speaks to desire. It speaks to
Again, it's like a drug.
It's a drug. It is. And once you get started, because I have this thing that my clients in my private Facebook group that I have, and if you're interested, only for women, not the men, they can't come in, but it's
That's like one of
nolovedrama.com.
them toy parties.
No Love Drama. If you go to
all those toy
nolovedrama.com, I sell them. I have this called Bedroom Bliss. Bedroombliss.co. But in nolovedrama.com, I have this thing that I talk to women about. It's called M&M, and if anybody that knows me knows what M&M is. It is almost a daily ritual for me. It is meditation and masturbation.
Bedroombliss.com. You said bedroombliss.com?
.co. C-O.
Okay, I'm finna tell y'all. Y'all go finish out. Oh, it wouldn't let me go in here. How's it spelled? Because it wouldn't let me go in Bedroom Bliss.
Bedroom Bliss. Oh, sorry, bedroomblissboutique.co. I'm so sorry, I left off the boutique. Bedroomblissboutique.co.
So you got your daily M's.
Yeah,
Let's go back
it's
to
the
that.
M&M.
M&M.
M&M. Meditation and masturbation.
Wait a minute.
So, okay, if you married, right?
Yes, I'm
If you
married.
got your husband there, you still have the urge to masturbate?
Is this
Or
your
do you have to
Because,
masturbate?
yeah, that's me. Because, let me tell you, and not to tell our secrets, but it's a part of the little games that we play as well. Sometimes I'll do it and just make him watch. He can't participate, and it's just exciting. Look at him. What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
I guess y'all better go check it out.
Bedroomblissboutique.co.
Okay.
It's a nipple because I'm drooling.
And
Ass was
his
his
glasses
bone.
on and
That's why
everything.
Good Lord.
Oh my goodness.
He done took your glasses off.
He had to take his glasses off. He breathing hard.
Wait a minute now. Yeah, man.
Okay, so now go ahead, finish what you were saying.
No, I was just saying, yes, masturbation is not always about the sexual act. It's about doing things that make me feel good and feel happy as a woman. And it's about learning how to please myself, because if I can please myself and make myself happy, it's not a problem if something does come up in the bedroom that even though I'm very pleased in our bedroom, but I'm just saying, even when we have long distance, like we're long distance right now, I need to still be happy and I still need to be pleased. I can't be going around looking like a sourpuss and not feeling juicy.
See, you just brought me to a question right here.
I'm mad that this ain't got no male stimulation shit on here.
Oh, he said in and in, nothing
I
now.
was just
He said what?
He said in and in, nut and now.
Oh God!
Way to go, Ron P5.
Hey.
Yeah.
Big brother. But no, that brings me to, that made me think about a question. Because men study women.
Mm-hmm. We know.
We got
You
to.
hear this, lady?
No,
Men study
we
women.
got
That's
to.
why you guys
I
gotta
mean,
study
that's
men.
really
You
not.
cannot jump in with your heart thinking you in love because
Hold
he
on,
took
hold
you
on,
to
hold
the
on.
movies
No, see,
and
you-
he spent
you
some
going-
money
you
on
going-
you.
you
You gotta
going-
study them because they studying you.
You
Okay,
going
go
straight
ahead.
off the deep end. No, I'm talking about in every aspect. A man is supposed to study his woman.
But
You're
women don't
supposed to.
study men. That's why I'm
I know, and
trying to ask you.
that's what I'm about to ask, because it seems like for us in the bedroom, right?
Mhm.
Let's just say the male and the female in the bedroom. The man has to know how to please the woman, right? Whereas to me, and it's just my experience, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, women think that, oh, because it's wet and I'm laying here, he's gonna get off anyway. So how do we change the culture to make it so that women study their men like men study their women, so that you'll know how to please your partner?
You know what? That's a good question. That's a good question.
Point.
When it comes to relationships and love and intimacy, it's still a taboo. As free as we are, it's still a taboo, and we don't invest in help. We think we're just supposed to know. And it kills me because I have like almost 1,000 women in my group, but out of that 1,000 women in my group, maybe I'm going to say 10 to 12% of them have actually come to me and said, help me get this thing right, or help me understand what I don't know.
Okay.
So 1,000 women hanging around, but only 10 to 15% saying, you know what, I'm about to invest in myself because I'm not getting it right in love. I'm not getting it right in the bedroom. But they won't.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a lot of times, like I said, the taboo of it, or I feel like I should know, or I'm embarrassed to think if you eat my money.
Ego and
Yeah.
I apologize. I done navigated through this website.
You should have waited till after the show. You put your glasses
No,
back
I'm
on.
gonna give you. I could be your bedroom bliss boutique.
You gonna be my, ooh, look at that voice. He got a voice on him, don't he?
Come in. Oh, that's what's on there.
You like that?
Right.
Go in. You gonna be my voice
Yeah.
over?
As soon as they open up the website, it'll be voiceover.
Voice over,
Man.
come in.
That's what's
And it
I
spells
can't complain.
C-U-M-N.
Look now, Chuck, it's advertisement though. That's why I said, wait a minute. Everything.
Let me see.
No, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, that's me.
See, I was like, wait a minute.
She got girls on.
Right? I'm finna put this below.
He said, what display? Listen to Mr. Morehouse, man.
Bedroom
Bliss.
Bliss
Let me do the
Boutique.
official commercial.
.co.
Hey, wait a minute. Bedroom Bliss Boutique. Sensual surprises and naughty nights. Come in. Yeah, I like that. Okay, we just got way off.
So-
It was off.
Okay, and I know I stepped out
A minute.
to get some water.
You was hot.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
conversation was making you hot.
Yeah.
Keisha, I'm gonna have to plug
Little
this
bit,
every after every show. Shit, you gonna be on our damn sponsors. A unique.
Big Brother Ron said, out serving each other extends to the bedroom too.
Yes.
My mate's climax Hold up. My mate's climax, your goal. Be willing to let them get theirs, even if you don't get yours, so that you create a healthy competition.
I've been
Yes.
there.
That
Been
will
there.
be the catalyst to both of you. Or that will be the catalyst to you both study each other.
Yes. It's how can I serve you? Well, baby, how can I serve you? That's exactly right. And I love this. And I hate using me a lot, but I do use me a lot because I've worked really hard to get to where I am in my relationship. But one of the things my husband always asks, did you come? Are you okay? Do you like it? What do you want? And when he does, they make me be like, well, baby, what you want? Did you come yet? He be like, no, you want to come together? Let's do it. It feels great, but you have to learn that. And where you want to learn it?
I say most women are not that open to wanting to even have that conversation. Because, like I said what I said before, I was in a relationship with the chick, and my climax, my satisfaction was not a priority to her. She felt like because she was there, that was enough. And that's something that I've seen continuously. Like, you know, as long as I'm satisfying them, they feel like I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
It's that confidence. It's the maturity level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it takes a lot for a woman, even a guru of yourself. I'm sure you know that there's a lot of things that you have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting here listening to this conversation, it helps me know that I have a lot to learn myself. But I'll say this, when it comes to like the pleasing of a man, I'm all for pleasing of the man. I'm all for the making sure you're satisfied. But it goes back to the relationship part. That's why the relationship is included. If you're not being treated like you feel like you should be treated, then when it does come into the bedroom, I ain't gonna want to do shit.
That's
I
right.
don't shit. I don't want to suck nothing. I don't
That's
wanna
right.
kiss nothing.
You almost
I'm just
resentful.
gonna lay
Like,
there.
how you even? Okay, let's go ahead and do it, but
Yeah,
you gonna have an
Yeah.
attitude and everything.
Yeah, and if you have to constantly do that, I mean, I think that just goes kind of off topic, but all at the same time. And I have to say that the relationship has to be involved in that.
And men gotta understand that we are emotional, and so our emotions is connected to our private area.
Right.
Y'all's are not. Ours is.
Well, piss me off. And
There's
I'm
exceptions to the rules all the time. And I like what Berna, Miss Diva said. She said, that's right. Just because he took you to the movies and dinner don't mean he's the one. Study him first. Keep it 100.
You want me to be the asshole? I ain't gotta have no complaints for one of these damn dogs right here. Especially this one. Wait a minute, I saw this ticket on this one. This one is $1,649. I sure won't get no damn.
Wayne said if she's still woke and talking after you finish, then you're not done yet.
Woo! I heard that! Did you hear that? If she's still woke and talking, that's true. I'll be in a coma. I'll be in a coma. I don't know what kind of sex that is. You get up, you like, all right, then. See you later.
If
No,
your
I'm
ass ain't
tired.
sluggish or sleepy.
You ain't do nothing. Oh, no.
Wow.
No.
They got the
I'm getting
Timberlands and tube
educated over
sides.
here, sorry.
Break out the Timberlands and tube sides. That's what they
Now you break out this shit, you know, Beyonce inflatable love dog.
That's on her website?
Princess Leia.
Why did you give him this website? No, y'all have got to go to this website. If you don't go to this
Hey,
website,
for all you ladies that want to fuck Donald Trump, she got a Donald Trump doll.
It's about
you can
fantasy.
fuck the shit out of Donald Trump. What?
Yeah,
Like literally.
I see you
The
look
video said his hands are smaller than his pecker or one or the other.
Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy.
She got me enthralled. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be on this, but wow. Clit suckers and pussy pumps.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, y'all go to this website, ladies. Your man piss you off, she got plenty for you. She got clit colors. Right.
We got what?
Clit cutlers.
Cutlers.
What is it
Oh, I'm finna tell you in a
I guess
minute.
it might be like a chicken cutlet.
I don't know.
What?
A G-spot. Oh, wow.
No, go to, I've never heard of a click.
Y'all, they obsessed with this
Oh,
website.
God.
So
Y'all
go
go on.
check
I
out-
digress. I'm just trying to help people out. I don't know. I'm gonna get some. Wow.
Oh.
Ladies,
Oh.
if you want to make sure that your man is engaged,
What
take
is
him
that?
to bedroom bliss
Yeah, that's an inspiring, pulsing, intimate arouser.
Do I need to be a what do you call it? A sales representative?
Okay.
Why you playing?
You want to?
That's like a little bunny.
To a sex party.
We can do
A
that.
mute silicone, that kind of looks like an animal, but
I'm not only like an animal.
right, with some bright eyes.
See, I'm not only a
He
client.
said an animal with some bright
What
eyes.
is that? Is that a spider?
Wow.
They are obsessed with this thing. Like,
pink
Obsessed.
petal
And then
massages.
y'all
You
forgot
think
y'all
that
doing
your
the
man
show.
would not be
No,
into
we're not
sex
forgetting.
toys?
Big shout out to
Yes, they will.
Nikisha
That's
Michelle
why
International.
it's a $1 billion industry. Men love sex toys. Look at them. They like little kids.
I just wanna see
Right?
what's on here.
Look
Wait a
at
minute.
them.
That's
Wait a minute.
young.
That's
That's young.
Well, you ain't helping it when you coming over here with
We don't own the
And-
website.
and you like this?
Sweet cut.
and I bet you if it were a movie, you make them just bounce. So, of course I'm gonna be here.
He said, "Is this hard?"
And they even, and she even got gag. Oh wow, I ain't going to this one.
What?
Bondage, chastity, and cock cages. I want to check
Cock
that out.
cage. No, I don't want jail.
Cock
Not
cage.
from a ding-a-ling. No ding-a-ling jail. I'm sorry.
Yes, but
Crazy.
back to
Yeah, you can't even do it.
Oh man. Okay, so dang, I think y'all got any questions? Cause we have been
I think we
talking.
so.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I do that.
Time.
So with all this, so with all that you learned and experienced, this is probably one of your ventures. I mean, I may be joking. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I get into shit like this. I look at shit like this. Some of this shit I'm not gonna use, but it's just
Most of them I'm not
fascinating.
gonna use.
Not like this chastity belt with lock steel. You ain't
Hell
yeah
no.
visuals, but I admire you. I guess it's really not a question. I admire you for venturing out and putting yourself there because you're comfortable with yourself. Because this is taboo.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this is taboo.
It's taboo.
I mean, but people have fantasies. That's part of us as humans. I mean, from whether it's, and I hate to say from bestiality to whatever, as nasty and sickening as it is, that's a part of the fabric of America. That's what makes us different.
Yeah.
People have different fantasies and fallacies about different stuff. I mean, but I commend you for venturing and making a business for this because
Thank you.
I know, wow.
Yeah.
Man,
And
I'm
instead
intrigued. I
of
can't say
look,
everything.
we promote black-owned business on the
Right.
show. So, Bedroom Bliss Boutique, ladies, for your feminine.
Yeah, I'm looking
Personal
at the costumes.
needs.
Oh, they got costumes and better for y'all on here. X-rated too. Oh wait.
But look, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up right now because we've been on for quite a while. And first, I'm gonna let Miss Nikisha Michelle get her shout outs in. If there are any shout outs you want to
Well,
do.
thank you so much. And I want to thank you to everybody that hung in there and was listening and commenting. Miss Berna, Christina, Latifa, Carlene, my sister, Diara, all of you guys that tuned in, thank you so much. And if you want to connect with me, I have a free Facebook group for women. If you want to empower your relationships with men and succeed in your purpose, you can just go to nolovedrama.com. And I'm in there every day, all day sometimes. And if you want to have a private conversation with me, a complimentary 30-minute conversation with me, you can do that at heallovelive.com. That's heallovelive.com. And I wanted to thank you guys for allowing me to come back again. It has been amazing.
We thank you, and I appreciate you giving us that website.
Yeah, we're gonna have to shout out the website every week now.
Well, I'm gonna do that for real.
Yeah.
One thing you will know, I'm gonna shout this mother.
So, Queen, you got shout outs you want to do?
Yeah, I got some shout outs. A special shout out, a happy birthday. I know she's not watching. I don't even think she has Facebook. But way down in Rome, Georgia, happy birthday to Miss Janice, Aunt Janice Singleton. And happy birthday to your little mom.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
her name? Izzy. Happy birthday to Izzy. I also want to shout out to Chrissy Quinn. And really quickly, I put a video up on It's About Time show. My cousin, little cousin, her name is Layla. She goes to school somewhere in Murfreesboro, I think. But go check it out. Go. It's a link you can go to and donate. But she made a video, and I think it's a really cute video, and she's trying to raise money for her school, and basically just wanted you guys to help out. So shout out to Layla and her dad, Patrick.
That was my turn.
Yep, go ahead, Squad.
Big shout out, and with this topic, I was just thinking, somebody that intimated to me that they were listening. Chuck, you know who that is, and I feel bad, Bill. I was a big shout out to you. I hope I didn't. You said you've learned some stuff. I think I probably put you on some more stuff today. But big shout out, and then big shout out to my little dude RGB, 8 months today.
RGB,
man, that's my dude. My love, my heart, man. Big props to my dude, man.
Alright, and I'm going to do the last round of shout outs. Of course, got to shout out Barbara Kings on MLK. Thank you, Terrence, hooking me up. Menlo Park Grocery Store, Sean Daniels. City Code Music, that's Bear and Playboy C. 100 Check Record Club, that's Jaden Maddox. What up, homie? Circa 94 Beats and Black Folk Inc. That's Walter Lee. Thank you for your beats. Thank you for everything. Lawrence, the real LED. Appreciate that, man. Also, got to shout out the Urban Voice. Jermaine, who was on the show, is the editor and the publisher of this paper. So if you see it around town, make sure you get a copy of it. Support. It's a lot of good information about what's going on in Chattanooga. I forgot. Let Me Cut It Lawn Service. Jimmy Holloway and Jamal Flanagan. Appreciate y'all hooking up the yard out here. Jimmy, I need to holler at you this week too. Last but not least, the Black Power Awards. And I'm gonna get close to the screen. The Black Power Awards are in Atlanta on November the 12th of this year. Tickets are $100. David Banner is one of the co-hosts, and then the Goddess Sa Rock is the other co-host. I would like to go to that. I don't know if I'm at $100 because we're going to Texas. But all that being said, the Black Power Awards is the first one of its kind. It's in Austell, actually. It's just right outside of Atlanta. But all that being said, everybody got their heart and mind clear, all that stuff. We're going to go ahead and end like we've been ending for the last month. Since this is the 50th anniversary of the Black Panther Party's movement, the Black Panthers always opened and ended their speeches by saying, power to the people. Power to the black people, power to the white people, power to the yellow people, power to the brown people, power to the red people, power to the purple people. Power to the people. All power to all people. And we out.
Peace.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Man. That was a good show. That was a good show. Appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you for your comments. Hey.
Thank y'all for watching. I was trying to be on crazy today, really.
Appreciate all your comments, man.
Appreciate everybody.
Yeah. Well, I know we kind of got off. We started seeing sex toys, and it just
yeah.
We seen silly rabbits, and it was something that had 7 little things coming off of it. Dude. Hey.
Crazy.
But anyway, y'all please go support this young lady right here, Miss Nasir, Nikisha, Michelle. I don't know the rest of her name. She got like 12 more names. But we're going to sign off. Appreciate y'all for watching. Go to the YouTube page, the It's About Time show on YouTube. You can see this again. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.